Combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter circuit breakers provide both arc fault and ground fault protection in a single device, which can be advantageous in certain situations. No 20 amps 1-pole combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter circuit breakers are not currently required by the National Electrical Code. Combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter circuit breakers provide both arc fault and ground fault protection in a single device, which can be advantageous in certain situations. In bathrooms, ground fault circuit interrupters are required for bathroom outlets. A combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breaker can provide both protections in a single convenient location. In kitchens, ground fault circuit interrupters are also required for kitchen counter outlets, making combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers a suitable choice for these areas. In laundry rooms, both arc fault circuit interrupters and ground fault circuit interrupters may be beneficial in laundry rooms due to potential moisture sources. In crawl spaces and attics, arc fault circuit interrupters are recommended in unfinished attics and crawl spaces where improper wiring could pose a fire hazard. Combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers offer additional protection against ground faults in these areas. Manufacturers may have knowledge of upcoming code changes through their involvement in code-making panels and industry organizations. However, the National Electrical Code is a consensus document that is updated through a public process, and any future requirements for combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter circuit breakers would be subject to this process. Until the National Electrical Code officially mandates these devices, their use remains optional but can provide enhanced protection in certain applications. Arc fault circuit interrupters are designed to protect against fires caused by arcing faults. Arcing faults can occur when damaged or deteriorated wires create unintended electrical paths, leading to heat and potentially igniting nearby materials. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to protect against electrical shock. Ground faults occur where electricity flows through an unintended path to ground, such as through a person touching a live wire. Combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers combine both of these protections into a single unit. Now let's delve into the specific areas where these combination breakers might be a good idea. Firstly, bathrooms are prime candidates. Since ground fault circuit interrupters are mandated for bathroom outlets, installing a combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breaker offers both arc fault and ground fault protection in one convenient location. This simplifies installation and ensures comprehensive safety. Secondly, kitchens are another area where ground fault circuit interrupters are commonly required for countertop outlets. Using a combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breaker in the kitchen provides an added layer of protection against both arcing faults and ground faults, enhancing safety in a high-use area with potential water exposure. Thirdly, laundry rooms often present a unique set of electrical hazards. The presence of water and appliances increases the risk of both arcing faults and ground faults. Therefore, incorporating both arc fault circuit interrupters and ground fault circuit interrupters in the laundry room wiring can significantly reduce the likelihood of electrical accidents. Fourthly, unfinished attics and crawl spaces are areas that are often overlooked but can pose significant fire risks. Arc fault circuit interrupters are particularly useful in these locations due to the potential for damaged or improperly installed wiring. By using a combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breaker, you gain an additional layer of protection against ground faults, which can occur in damp or poorly insulated environments. Understanding the National Electrical Code's role is crucial. Manufacturers often participate in code-making panels and industry organizations, giving them insights into potential future code changes. However, the National Electrical Code is a consensus-based document that undergoes a public update process. This means that any future requirements for combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers would need to be approved through this established process. Until the National Electrical Code officially requires the use of combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers, their use remains optional. However, they provide enhanced protection in specific applications and are worth considering, especially in areas prone to electrical hazards. The decision to use combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers often comes down to assessing the specific risks and needs of a particular location. Consider factors such as the age of the wiring, the presence of moisture, and the potential for physical damage to electrical components. Keep in mind that while combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers offer a high level of protection, they are not a substitute for proper wiring practices and regular electrical inspections. Ensure that all electrical work is performed by qualified professionals and that your electrical system is regularly inspected to identify and address any potential hazards. Also, remember that ground fault circuit interrupters protect against electrical shock, and arc fault circuit interrupters protect against electrical fires. To further elaborate on arc fault circuit interrupters, they function by monitoring the electrical current for unusual patterns that indicate an arc fault. When an arc fault is detected, the arc fault circuit interrupter quickly trips the circuit, cutting off the flow of electricity and preventing a fire from starting. Ground fault circuit interrupters, on the other hand, work by detecting differences in the current flowing into and out of a circuit. If a difference is detected, it indicates that some of the current is flowing through an unintended path, such as through a person. The ground fault circuit interrupter then quickly trips the circuit to prevent electrical shock. Combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers offer the benefits of both types of protection in a single device. This can simplify installation, reduce costs, and provide a higher level of safety. However, it's important to choose the right type of arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breaker for your specific application. There are several different types of arc fault circuit interrupters available, each designed to protect against different types of arc faults. Similarly, there are different classes of ground fault circuit interrupters, each designed to trip at different current levels. When selecting an arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breaker, it's important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that you're choosing the right device for your needs. An electrician can assess your electrical system and recommend the appropriate type of arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breaker for your specific application. In addition to selecting the right type of arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breaker, it's also important to install it correctly. A proper installation can reduce the effectiveness of the device and may even create a safety hazard. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing an arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breaker, and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions. Regular testing of arc fault circuit interrupters and ground fault circuit interrupters is also essential to ensure they are functioning properly. Most arc fault circuit interrupters and ground fault circuit interrupters have a test button that you can use to verify that the device is working. It's recommended to test your arc fault circuit interrupters and ground fault circuit interrupters at least once a month to ensure they are providing the intended protection. Beyond the specific areas mentioned earlier, there are other situations where combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers may be a good idea. For example, they can be beneficial in homes with young children or elderly residents who may be more vulnerable to electrical hazards. They can also be useful in homes with older wiring systems, which may be more prone to arc faults and ground faults. When considering whether to install combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers, it's important to weigh the costs and benefits. Combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers are typically more expensive than standard circuit breakers, but they offer a higher level of protection. Ultimately, the decision of whether to install combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers is a personal one. However, by understanding the benefits and limitations of these devices, you can make an informed decision that protects your home and family from electrical hazards. Remember, electrical safety is paramount. By taking proactive steps to protect your home and family from electrical hazards, you can significantly reduce the risk of electrical fires and shocks. Combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers are just one tool in the arsenal of electrical safety measures. Use them wisely, in conjunction with other safety practices, to create a safe and secure electrical environment in your home. Let's also consider the specific requirements outlined in the National Electrical Code, or National Electrical Code, concerning arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter protection. While combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers aren't universally mandated, the National Electrical Code does specify where arc fault circuit interrupters and ground fault circuit interrupters are required separately. Understanding these requirements can help you determine where combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers might be a beneficial upgrade. For example, the National Electrical Code typically requires arc fault circuit interrupter protection in most branch circuits that supply dwelling unit living areas, such as bedrooms, living rooms, and dining rooms. This requirement is intended to reduce the risk of electrical fires caused by arcing faults in these areas. Ground fault circuit interrupter protection, on the other hand, is typically required in areas where there is a higher risk of electrical shock, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor locations. By understanding these separate requirements, you can see how combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers can provide a convenient and comprehensive solution for meeting both arc fault and ground fault protection needs in a single device. It's important to note that the National Electrical Code is updated regularly, so it's always a good idea to consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and with a qualified electrician to ensure that you are meeting all applicable requirements. The National Electrical Code serves as the cornerstone for electrical safety standards in the United States. Its comprehensive guidelines aim to minimize electrical hazards and ensure the safe installation and operation of electrical systems. Staying informed about the National Electrical Code's updates and revisions is crucial for anyone involved in electrical work or homeowners seeking to enhance their home's electrical safety. As mentioned earlier, manufacturers' insights into potential code changes can be valuable. Their involvement in code-making panels and industry organizations provides them with a unique perspective on upcoming trends and potential revisions to the National Electrical Code. However, it's essential to remember that the National Electrical Code is a consensus-based document, and any proposed changes must undergo a rigorous public review and approval process. This ensures that all stakeholders have the opportunity to provide input and that the final code reflects the best interests of safety and reliability. In conclusion, combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers offer a convenient and effective way to enhance electrical safety in your home. While they are not currently required by the National Electrical Code in all locations, they can provide valuable protection against both arc faults and ground faults, particularly in areas where these hazards are more likely to occur. By understanding the benefits and limitations of combination arc fault circuit interrupter and ground fault circuit interrupter breakers, and by staying informed about the National Electrical Code requirements, you can make informed decisions that protect your home and family from electrical hazards. Always prioritize electrical safety and consult with qualified professionals to ensure that your electrical system is properly installed, maintained, and protected. The information provided is intended for general guidance only and does not constitute professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work or safety concerns. The specific requirements of the National Electrical Code may vary depending on your location, so it's essential to consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and with local authorities to ensure compliance.